This is Virginia Doll. I am on Virginia's Creative Stamping Corner on Facebook. This is a live card demonstration that is meant to show you how to use a particular stamp set from the Stamping Up mini catalog, and I want to go through some really quick things before we get to the point where we have to there we go, before we have to stop, because I don't want to keep this for too long. And let me go ahead and show you some really quick housekeeping kinds of things. Oh, sorry, let me move that out of the way. You don't need to see that. All right. Currently, we have two catalogs going. We have our annual catalog, which lasts until the end of April. We have, actually, is that right? The end of April? Yes, the end of April. Then we have our mini catalog, which is ongoing through to the end of April. And the mini catalog, we're going to be using a stamp set that I will show you in just a few minutes. It's a really sweet stamp set with a very interesting type of card that I really enjoy making. I really like this fun fold. And during the same time that the things are on sale in the mini catalog, we have a thing called Celebration going on, where you are able to, with every purchase of $50 or more, you're able to select from this brochure an item for free. And one of the items that we're using this evening is a package of paper that if you spend $100 or more, you get this package of paper called Dandy Designs. It is 12 by 12 and it is 48 sheets, which are 4 each of 12 double-sided designs. And I will show you that paper really quickly here in a few minutes. Here's some examples of cards using some of that paper. All right, that's on page 14 and 15 of the Celebration brochure. Now, these items that are in here, all the Celebration items and the items in the mini catalog are while supplies last, even though we do say that our Celebration event lasts until February 28th. There's a possibility some of these items could sell out quickly. And we do have, in addition, for the month of February, these additional items that are available for Celebration items that are for $50 purchase or for a $100 purchase. And there are embossing folders on here, there are punches, there are 2 card kits, there's ribbon and designer series paper, and a masking or a decorative mask set. And this is an entire bundle, which is a stamp set as well as the dies. This is free with a $100 order. So you can pick from any of these or any of these that we still have. And I think we pretty much have everything still, but you have a large selection of free items for your orders. So if you do not have a Stamping Up demonstrator, please let me know and leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll get right back in touch with you and talk to you about how you can order. If you would like to just go ahead to the website on stampingup.com, you can go to HTTPS, this website right here, okay, and that'll take you directly to my demonstrator web page, and there is a shop button on that page, and you can go straight there and purchase any items that you're interested in. If you do not have a catalog, then contact me and I'll make sure that you are able to get that catalog and or send you either a hard copy or a digital copy, okay? So just keeping all of that in mind, and I'm going through this rather quickly because I want to get to the other things that we need to get to. And while you're at it, if you're new to my channel, please make sure you share my video so that other people who are your friends on Facebook will be able to see what it is that I do and understand the passion that I have for paper crafting and card making, and how much I enjoy teaching people how to do that. In the meantime, there's one more thing I need to talk to you about. During the month of March, starting March 1st, we have a set of online exclusives. And you remember I mentioned that website. You can go to stampinup.com and we have an online store. This links you directly to the online store with me as your demonstrator. If you go to just that website, you can go to the online store and indicate my name when they ask you who your demonstrator is, and then I will get credit for the order that you place. So in the meantime, but these things that we as demonstrators have an opportunity to purchase ahead of time, to pre-order ahead of time. These are just a few of the items that are available for the online exclusives. There are more, and this QR code on this flyer um, links you to all of those items that are available on the in the online exclusive. But this QR code is not activated until March 1st. So none of this starts until March 1st. In the meantime, I can give you kind of a sneak peek of some of the things that are part of this. So here, I'll let you look at this. This is a stamp set and a die set, a bundle. It's called Hello Irresistible, and this whole thing is the Sweet Collection with designer series paper, and the designer series paper is 6x6, and these loose frosted dots. Now, these things are available only on the online exclusives, and again, it will be one of those while supplies lasts kind of a deal. There are other products that are available as well for us as demonstrators to order. There was a set of 12 by 12 naturally gilded specialty designer series paper. It was gorgeous. It's gold and copper and silver. In not embossed, but paper that is just, it's gorgeous specialty paper. Then there is a package of three 3D embossing folders available, and a classic letters stamp set. These letters are approximately an inch in height, so those are fairly substantial, fairly large letters. But those are only a few of the items that are part of the online exclusive. So check back online at stampinup.com and see what the rest of those exclusive items are. Customers can order March 1st. All right, so that is enough of that information. Let's look, and I showed you about the paper. Let me look through this paper really quickly. It's called Dandy Designs. That's what I thought. Okay, and I'm going to just sort of show you really quickly because as I said, I want to really spend some time working on showing you other things. And there are 12 pieces here, double-sided, and you said 48 sheets, so that means there's 4 of each sheet. And here are the colors that are available. And some of these colors I used in the cards that I made. So there you go. There is an idea. And I think maybe seeing this a little bit better that way. Okay, there you go. So not so many blues together. All right, now I'm going to flip this over. Try to do it so that my camera doesn't fuzz on me. All right, and here are the other side. Okay, this one has kind of a zigzag line set on it. There you go. All right. And this is another one. Several different color combinations. All right, and let me tell you really quickly, the colors in that paper are Balmy Blue, Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, and Petal Pink. All right, so there's the paper. The stamp set itself, found in the mini catalog, is on page 13. This adorable stamp set, and if any of you know me very well at all, you know I love cats. And actually, the excitement that I've had today is we were able to trap 2 kittens in our backyard, and they're probably about 8 to 12 weeks old, not quite sure how old they are just yet. They'll be shuttled off to the vet tomorrow, and we'll be able to keep track of them and because I'm part of the group called Bowie Claw, and we are citizens legislating for animal welfare. We are a group that rescues and adopts out. We do not really a rescue organization, but we do some, some of that. We make sure we do a lot of TNR, which is the trap, neuter, and return of adult cats and colony cats in the area, so we can cut down on the cat and kitten population. But anyway, so this was particularly appropriate that it should come up today that I had decided to do this. It is almost like a Valentine Day thing because of some of the sentiments in here. However, you'll see in the cards that I will show you very quickly that you can use this set for a number of different things. Particularly if you're a cat lover, you can find all kinds of ways to use this set. And I'll show you some really clever cards that I found on Pinterest that I was able to make. And I will give folks the credit from where I found them on Pinterest. All right, so page 13 of the mini catalog, it's called Love Cats. There is no die set, so whatever cutting you need to do, you're going to have to do your fussy cutting. But these are the three main images and three main sentiments in the set. All right, now, okay, let's look at the card I have for you tonight. It is this card right here. This is a bookbinding card, and the reason it's called bookbinding is because it looks like you're opening a book. And there is what there. Okay, there we go. So we're going to make this, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how easy this card is. All right, and I made this for a friend of mine who just recently had some serious back surgery. And I wanted to share this design with you. I found this on Pinterest from Cindy Elam. She is, her website is called heartsdelightcards.com, and also Jan's Stamping Creations. Part of the inspiration that I got was from those two people that I saw, those two demonstrators I saw on Pinterest. Okay, so I changed up the colors. I changed up some of the things that were done, but I love the fact that this is double mounted, and it pulls out the colors in the designer series paper. Typically what I end up doing is spending a lot of time looking at my designer series paper and letting that determine, especially if I'm using that on my card, letting it determine what colors I use in my card, because I like all those things to coordinate. And of course I did this, and this is from the top of one of the stamps that you will see, and I'll try to show you how to do that without making too much of a mess. It can be a little messy. All right, but here we go. So that's what we're going to make, and here are the materials that you need for it. Of course, we need our envelope, and we'll be stamping that envelope in a minute with our Melon Mambo ink pad. Okay, and yeah, okay, I'll have to pull out my stamps for that too. Huh. All right, unless I've already done that. Okay, so here we go. So there's that. That came from this stamp set. Here's the stamp set, and I'm going to use the heart from these pieces right here on my, and I actually saw somebody the other day who had actually cut this part off. I'm not all that sure I want to cut that part off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Stamparatus to help me with this. So in a few minutes I'll put that on my Stamparatus and we'll use that. The other thing is the go-to greetings, or where I got my my sentiment from, thinking of you. I love this set because it gives you so many different sizes of fonts. That you can make it small, you can make it medium size, you can make it large. It's thinking of you, it's just a note, it's thank you, it's happy birthday, just it's hello. This is just really, really a terrific, particularly for beginners, for beginning stampers. This is a fabulous set to own. So Go To Greetings is in our annual catalog. And then the other piece that I did use as well with that was I used my Layering Circles dies, and this is a very old die set that's been around for quite a long time, but it's because we use it all the time. Now, I used the the one of the circles. I believe it was this one. Yeah, it was this one that I used to cut the piece out for the cat that I am going to show you how to do. And then I used but two of these. I think I probably used this largest one. Maybe not the largest one. Anyway, one of these. Okay, that one for the middle, and then this one for the outer edge. So you can see what I did with those. Those are all nested or sized or layered, so that helps us with layering. And I really like it when Stampin' Up! Does this. This is an example of a stencil that I will keep, and I'll show you why I keep it. And I think I talked about it a little bit last week when I used the Stamparatus. It helps hold my paper in place, so that when I stamp and I want to stamp over the image again, it is still in the same spot and it won't move out. And I will show you that in just a minute. All right, let's leave this to the side and let's talk about the materials that we're using tonight. Okay, we're using Balmy Blue and Coastal Cabana. And let's see, the card itself, the card base itself is 4¼ by 11. I've scored it at 5½, and I've also scored it at 6¾ All right, so 5½ and 6¾ And the reason I do that is when we fold it, we're going to fold it like this, and we're going to adhere this piece down. I'm sorry, that's getting kind of blurry for you. Adhere this piece down, and so that when we open it like a book. And we are going to, I'll show you exactly how we're going to do that. It really is very simple to do. All right, so there's our card base. A piece of the ribbon, and the ribbon is our double stitched ribbon with Balmy Blue. All right, you can see that ribbon. It's a fairly substantial ribbon, actually. It looks like it's two ribbons, one on top of the other. I just think it's really pretty, and it ties a very nice knot. It's a little thick for tying a bow, unless you want to do something really big. And the difficulty I would have with the bow is I have to go in and I have to kind of manipulate the ribbon because of it's one-sided, and you'd have to twist it all around. And yeah, so there's a certain amount of manipulation that has to happen to make the bow look right and come out like that. So it's a little difficult to use. And then of course you've got to make sure that you know, anyway, twisting around is a little awkward, but it does a really nice knot, ties a really nice knot, but it's a beautiful, beautiful ribbon. So anyway, so there's the ribbon, and I don't know, that's probably about 14 inches or so, I think. Okay, and our coastal, we have two pieces of, well, a scrap for the sentiment. Okay, that's called the Thinking of You sentiment. And okay, here we go. All right, I'll have to use my a couple of blocks over here. Sorry. I thought I had it all situated. Okay. All right, everybody. Here we go. So a couple of blocks, and I'm going to be using the Thinking of You on one of those blocks, and then the cat piece. And I really don't need too much of this cat because I don't need to worry about the tail. I'm just using this little piece up here at the top. All right, so I'm going to put those up there. And okay, and a piece of the layer that I'm using in Coastal Cabana. This is Balmy Blue. The layer that I'm using in Coastal Cabana is 4x4, and then the other one that's going to go on the bound part or the side part of this card is 4 inches by 1. Okay, then we have the circles. So we need Coastal Cabana scraps and Balmy Blue scraps to cut the circle, the layer pieces out of, and basic white scraps to cut the the sentiment piece and the cat out of. Okay. All right, so we've got a lot to do. Here is our designer series paper, and basically this is the same piece of paper, but I'm just going to flip one side. Okay, so we can have a contrasting color there. And the designer series paper is 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4, and then this is exactly 3 3/4 square. And that should be all the items that we go. And the insert for the inside of the card is 4 by 4. All right, so hopefully that makes some sense, and we can get started. I used the Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch on my sentiment, and I'll show you how to do that in just a few minutes when we get there. We get to that part. Okay, make sure I don't lose any of my pieces. Okay, so a lot of stamping has to take place. So let's go ahead and get that done right away. And let's go ahead and do the little bit of this, which, all right, I'm going to try to do this, and I'm going to try to get off here on the corner, to make sure my envelope is turned correctly. Just try to get the corner piece here of where the hearts are, okay, and just gently tap that down. Hopefully I didn't get too much of that right there. So looks like I got it. Just doing the corner, and I'm going to tap that down right there, and we're done. Okay, very good. Okay, and then I don't think there's anywhere else I need to do that. I am going to show you how to do this. Oh, yes, I do. I have to do a little piece on the inside. Sorry. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. Now let's go again and try to do that, tap that corner, not push it down too much because I got a little fuzz on that. All right, here is my chamois. I'm going to take and wipe that extra little piece off of there. Another thing that you can do is use a piece of tape to cover up the part that that you don't want inked. Okay, that looks good. Okay, and I don't have any on top here. Excellent. But I took the chamois to do that, and then this is on the inside, if I remember correctly. There's a little set of hearts as well. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the inside of my insert. All right, that kind of went off the edge, but that's okay. Okay. All right. So that's all the stamping that we're going to need to do. I will show you. We're also going to be using some, we'll show you some coloring. We're going to do a little tiny bit of coloring. So we're going to use some coloring on this piece when we do this piece. This piece goes upside down like that. Now, I used a particular type of ink. We have two black inks that we sell. One is called Memento, and that is tuxedo black ink that we use. And you know, that makes a really good dark color, but I found that I like the way the StazOn works. Oh, I think I could do the other stamping too. Hold on. And so I'll show you in just a second how I do that. So let me go ahead and stamp this piece, which is the thinking of you part. And I'm going to try to get that in the center. And I know I am kind of rushing through this. I just want to make sure that everybody gets this video and it works. Okay, so here we go. Thinking of you. I'm going to try to center this as best I can. And make it as straight as I can. And I keep my fingers crossed. All right, thinking of you. Worked well. Okay, very good. Now I'm going to take this Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch, okay, and you see that there are two levels. Oh, that's a good picture there. Not too much shininess. I'm going to use this side, this one. You notice that there are three widths of paper that you could use. The largest is 1 inch. The next size is 3/4 of an inch. and I believe in between that is half an inch maybe, which is what this piece is. Oh, so I'm going to go turn this upside down, and I'm going to put my paper in half an inch. Watch, I always look at the edge of that, see if it is even. If I've got my paper cut even, that should work. All right, that pops that right off, and then I just turn it right around and do the same thing again, slide it right in there. Okay, let's see, yeah. All right. Okay. Okay, very good. And then pop that piece off, and there you go. So it kind of looks like a little ragged ticket punch or ticket thing. So there you go. That's thinking of you. All right, so that piece is done. Excellent. All right, and I love the fact that our punches are easy to store and take up very little space, because we can collapse them and lock them down, and so that makes it a lot easier for us to store. All right, I hope I said that my name was Virginia Dahl, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I have been a demonstrator for about 20, not quite 20 years, 19 years now, I think. That's about right. But I'm coming up on an anniversary in August, and it'll be 20 years, and I think that's pretty incredible. All right, let's look at this right now, and I'll show you in a minute how we got that, but I'm going to take my my light melon mambo, and I'm going to color in with my Stamping Blends, color in this little heart. I thought that little jolt of pink was kind of cute. And then I used my Daffodil Delight, and this is my dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm using the pen end because what I'm using, or what I'm coloring in, is a very small space. I'm going to make my little kitty's eyes yellow. All right, and then actually I'm going to go back and put a little pink on the nose of the kitty. There you go. All right. Now I'm going to, of course, leave those lines exactly straight, or exactly like they are, because that way you can see the legs of the cat who's kind of turned upside down and dangling the heart. So that's all the stamping that we need to do. And let me show you how we got that little piece. I cut a piece of a paper, basic white. Oh, I don't know how big it was. It was just big enough for this circle. Let me check it really quickly here. It's exactly square, so it's going to be exactly 3 by 3. Okay, put that there because I need to hold that. And this is called it's a stencil, but this is a blank. I cut out a bunch of these. I cut the 3 by 3 cards, several of these, and then I used the die set to cut out several of these. And in order to be able to do this and do this so that I can get it dark enough, I just slip this little piece in here. All right, so it should fit right into that. I'm going to just barely use my magnets to hold that in there, and I'm going to try this first. Here is my stamp already mounted. It should be mounted exactly like I want it, and go exactly like, yes. Turn this all around. It feeds in like this, and it should go right like that, right down like that. Now I'm going to have to move my magnet just a little bit. I'm glad I did that before I'm checking on that to make sure that's going to go down exactly right. Okay, so I'm going to take a stamp set and put underneath of this and use my Stays On ink. Okay, there we go. And Stays On, this is the jet black. It has a lovely kind of cherry smell to it. I'm going to go ahead and ink up. Let's see if you can see this. It's going to be a little hard for me to navigate this and make sure you can see it. And just keep inking the stamp. I'm turning it upside down. I want to make sure that there's no white spots on it. Since it is a pretty solid stamp, solid in that, you know, it's pretty much one piece, and there's not a lot of little intricate details in there. I am going to try to stamp this a couple of different times in order to get the right kind of um, intensity in the black. So I'm looking at that. I'm going to put this over here. This should be measured because I measured this out ahead of time, and this should work. I'm going to press down on this. Okay. But I'm not going to move it around at all because there is a possibility it might slip around. And if I didn't get it dark enough the first time, I can always go back and do it again. And there's a little bit right here that I see with my eye that maybe I need to go back and redo that corner again. And because it is in the same spot and I haven't moved anything, it should work. And there's a little spot right up there on the tail that I want dark. Okay, so I'm going to go back and hit those two areas, kind of push down gently. Don't want to do too much. And that fixes it. Okay, and it's perfect. It's done. And you can set this up, particularly if you're making a lot of the same kind of cards. The Stamparatus is a wonderful positioning tool for that kind of thing. To take the Stays-On off of your cling mount stamps, you need to use a Stays-On all-purpose cleaner. Now this is an old bottle of it, but it still works beautifully. I haven't had any problems with it. And it's an all-purpose cleaner. It is but this is Stays-On is an ink that I would only use with my red rubber stamps. I would not use it with my photopolymer. I've heard some comments about how it definitely makes it okay. It makes it it destroys the stamp set, the photopolymer stamp set. So, and I think I see a little spot, which I will go back and redo again. So I think I have a little something on my stamp. It's hard to see it from here. Hard to know how to take that off of there. Okay. Oh, that's a piece. Not sure what's going on there on that spot. Okay. But that can be easily fixed because you can go back and re-stamp that again. I don't see that spot anymore. Go back. Haven't moved it. There. Now there's some people that have a little, like a hockey puck, you know, like the table hockey puck things that you use to hit the little pucks back and forth on the table. Some people use that. Some people use a dry erase marker. I find if you move it around too much in too many different directions, you're going to end up having a problem with that. And that is not coming out exactly right. Don't know what that is. But it's not a defect of the stamp. It's something I'm not doing right. But anyway, that's the principle. That's the idea behind it. That's how it's supposed to work. All right, so there you go. And if you have to, just take a little black marker and go in there and fill in that spot. Okay, so, back to the Stays-On. You just take this because it has kind of a tip like this, and you just put it on here. And I take a paper towel. You don't have to use too much of it. I take a paper towel and I just wipe it off with a paper towel. All right, so that's something I'm going to do at a later time. Okay, all right, so there we go. Put that aside. All right, let's get our card put together right now. Okay, sorry about that little bit of a hiccup there, and as far as I was getting that done correctly for you. I hope you got at least the principle of the thing here. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to go ahead and get this center part taken care of so that we can get the ribbon in here and get this piece glued down so that it adheres right to the left-hand side of the card. So the first thing you need to do is get your tear and tape. And this is going to be pretty strongly adhered. Okay, so I put a piece of tear and tape on the inside of each of these score lines. All right. Okay. I want to make sure that this is definitely going to stay put. Okay, so there's that. And then in addition to that, I'm putting some of my Stamp and Seal in the center to hold the ribbon down. So, because I want to hold the ribbon kind of in place. So I think you can kind of see what I did there. There you go. All right. So we're going to put that over here to the side. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to remove, well, actually I will do the ribbon piece first, I think. And I want to make sure, no, I need to, okay, I'm going to flip it over because I have my mat here. And I did this the last time too, and I just like, I can't demonstrate it that way. But anyway, the mat's going to keep it from sticking. This piece needs to be mounted on this piece here. All right, and then we're going to put that there, and then we're going to add the ribbon to it. So let me get my glue out. Sorry, a lot of things have to go on here. Okay, I'll make sure that you get it on there. All right, so here's this piece. We're going to go ahead and put that on there and move that around a little bit because I can with the glue so that I have kind of an even border all the way around the edge there. All right, now I'm going to also use the glue to adhere this. Okay. And I'm going to adhere this to my card base. Again, you've got plenty of room to move it around and get it in there just right. Okay, now we can think about the ribbon. Sorry, I was rushing through. All right, I want to make sure that the ribbon is straight in here. Actually, it's going to come through this way. Because when I put the ribbon on, okay, it seems like it's a shame that that piece is covered up. But I did do it that way. Okay, and then we're going to do this. And then this is folded in the middle. And then we do our little bow, or our little, and you do have to manipulate this ribbon a little bit to get it to do what you want it to do. So I'm going to make it do that and go through here. So you might need to manipulate a little bit, but it's glued down on the back, so it's not going anywhere. Okay, so just, there you go. And there's that piece, and you just flip this piece around. Okay, that piece is not going to go anywhere because you're also going to put a glue dot underneath of that if you feel like you need to. I'm going to use a little snip here and a little snip there, and oops, maybe a little bit more here. Okay, good. And that's all the ribbon that we have left over there. So I'm going to put that there. All right, and that's going to actually work out very nicely because it's turned toward that. So now I'm going to take, and we're going to take the tear and tape off of this. If you have any tear and tape that is hanging over the edge, just fold it back on itself. So that's what I'm going to do over here with this edge. All right, and then go ahead and do this because you can't always guarantee it's going to go beautifully. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down, and there is that section. Okay, and this is I just think this is the cutest little card way of making a card. You can make so many cards this way. It's just really neat. I really do like this a lot. All right, so a lot of layering has to go on, but let's go ahead and put this on the inside of our card. And I'm using my Stampin' Seal to do that. Make sure this is going to go in the bottom right corner. I'm going to turn it up like this so that I can see on all sides pretty much, and make sure that I get my border, a fairly decent border here. Okay, I think you can see that. All right, excellent. So that inside of our card is done. Now let's layer the top part. Okay, this piece of Designer Series paper goes on top of this Coastal Cabana. So we will use our multi-purpose glue for that. All right. And since it is square, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and our Coastal Cabana is 4 by 4, that should work beautifully. We should be able to have a nice border all the way around. All right, now we're going to go ahead and adhere this to the base of our card. Again, using the multi-purpose glue. And it doesn't matter what direction it goes in because this is non-directional paper. So that helps us a lot. And again, I want to make sure that I make the borders as even as I possibly can. So that's why I like using the liquid glue. All right, so there's that. Now let's go ahead and we can glue together our layers. We're almost finished with this card. I'm going to glue together the layers, and you can do this in kind of pretty much any order that you want to. But I have chosen to try to kind of match these circles up, the scalloped edges up with each other, and try and get an even border around as best I can. You know, one of the things I learned early on is that no matter how hard I try, I'm going to have a little bit of a difficulty making sure that everything is exactly straight and exactly in the perfect place where I want it to be. So I stopped stressing about that, and I decided, you know, I'll just do the best I can. If there's a mistake on it, I'll see if I can find a way to fix it. If not, the person that will be getting it will enjoy the card regardless. So there we go. So that's on there. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a couple of dimensionals to pop up. And I might use a little, since that's a little wobbly there, a glue dot to put that down. So pop up our sentiment, but I'm going to put this on first because I want to see exactly where we put that. Okay, like that. All right, that makes sense? Okay, so that's where I'm going to put that. So I want to sort of what I call dry fit it, so that I can get this in the right spot. And this regular size dimensionals work fine on this. Okay. I do tend to use a few dimensionals so that I can make sure that as it goes through the mail, it doesn't get all frickadoodled, as one of my husband's aunts used to say. Okay, and I'm going to just gently lay that down there and see if I have a good distance. There we go. And the lines on this help me out a little bit too. Okay, there we go. There's my thinking of you, and I'm going to pop this up as well. So, frickadoodle is I don't know where that came from, but it's a term that I've heard his family use periodically. It's kind of like a really interesting word, and I like interesting words, so every now and then I'll throw that word out there. So, there we go. Now, we're all very well adhered to this card, so this little medallion with the cat on it will not be going anywhere. All right, so here we go, and this is the last step. I didn't put any kind of different, embellishment on it other than the ribbon, and we will put a glue dot under the ribbon, but I want to make sure that I've got that. That looks pretty good. Let's put that down, and okay, I'm happy with that. All right, so there we go. Okay, there's that, and then I'm going to take a glue dot and put it underneath the knot of the ribbon, and that will stay in one spot. It won't go flying all over the place or moving all over the place. And there is our card. There is our book binding card. And you can use that thinking of you. Yeah, kind of half it off, there. Okay, so there is our card. Now let me show you, and I would go back and use a little bit of either eraser or a sand eraser or something to take care of that little spot right there. Let me move these things aside and show you the other two cards with the other images in the stamp set. And I think you'll really see how I used some of that paper again. Here is this one here. So I think we can do this. All right, put that in the corner there. There's that piece of designer series paper. Here's the other side of it. And this is the other image. I love hanging out with you. And again, I use the little hearts on the inside of that. So I thought that was really sweet. And then what this came from the kitchen table stamper. I think this one may have come from Jan's Stamping Creations. That's where I got this idea from. And I thought I liked the combination of the colors, the fresh freesia and the granny apple green. I thought that looked really cute. All right, and then this is the one that I saw with the kitchen table stamper, Marissa Alvarez. She did a really fun card, and this is really fun. Here is the envelope. Okay, there you go. And watch, this is the wow factor. Watch this. Ta-da! I had so much fun putting that together. That's a really fun fold. That's kind of over the top, but there you go. I did do a little bit of changing of how I did this part, but mostly, essentially, it's the same card. I just used some different elements and slightly a different form of how she did this piece. But the rest of it is pretty much exactly how she did it. All right. So that was fun to do. I really had fun with that card. So anyway, okay, that's enough blathering on. I do appreciate your being here. And if you would like to leave me some comments, Karen, hi Karen. Hi Kathy. Hey, good to see you. I'm sorry, I wasn't really looking at the thing. I was so busy trying to get everything done, so we didn't have such a long video. Okay, so I do have everything ready. Tomorrow I am going to put this on YouTube. I've just uploaded 2 or 3 new videos today from this past month, so I'm trying to keep up with it. I've got an awful lot of older videos that I want to put on there, but right now I'm focusing on getting the newer videos on the YouTube, so that works really well. So if you want to go to Virginia's Creative Stamping Quarter on YouTube, I will be uploading this video and giving you all kinds of information about how I got to figure out how to put the card measurements and all that kind of stuff in it. But I will put that in the comments on the Facebook Live video as well. All right, well, I'm going to let you go, and I will see you. This is the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. Karen, I hope you got your card. If you didn't, it's in the mail. Oh, it says, hey, sis, thank you for my card. Okay, you got the card, so there you go. Appreciate your watching me again. I thought you would really like this. This would be a fun one for you. All right, so take care of yourselves, and leave me a comment if you liked the card. If you didn't like the card, just leave me a comment so I know that someone else or someone is watching. That's very helpful for me. And come back next week, because I will be here the same time on the 21st doing another video.